Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we are going to walk together into one of the deepest, darkest valleys of the spiritual life. It is a place that every single believer, no matter how devout, has visited at least once. It is the place of silence. It is that heartbreaking moment when you fall to your knees, when you pour out your soul in desperation, begging God for a specific grace, the healing of a child, the saving of a marriage, the lifting of a depression, and the answer you receive is not a miraculous yes, but a quiet, resounding no. It is the question that haunts us in the middle of the night. If God is love, and if God is all-powerful, why does He refuse to intervene when we are in such pain? Why does He seem to stand back? Today, we are going to look for the answer through the eyes of Saint Padre Pio of Pietrelcina. We know him as the great miracle worker, the stigmatic who healed thousands. But there is a side of his ministry we rarely talk about, the times when the miracle did not happen. Specifically, we are going to recount a true, documented, and heart-wrenching event from his life, a vision regarding a dying boy and a desperate mother. In this story lies a secret that changes everything about how we view suffering. It reveals that what we see as a refusal is often a severe mercy, and that while we are looking at the loose threads of our lives, God is looking at the finished tapestry. To understand this, we first have to step into the world of San Giovanni Rotondo. Imagine the atmosphere. It wasn't just a church, it was a hospital for souls. By the 1950s, the crowds were overwhelming. They came by the busload, climbing the winding, dusty roads of the Gargano Mountains. They brought with them the smell of sickness, the weight of poverty, and the desperate hope that this Capuchin friar, this man with the wounds of Christ on his hands, could change their fate. Padre Pio felt the weight of every single person who came to him. He wasn't indifferent. When he saw a mother weeping for her sick child, he didn't just offer a platitude. He wept with them. His heart was physically and spiritually pierced by the suffering of the world. He knew that for many of these people, he was their last resort. The doctors had given up. The bank accounts were empty. All they had left was faith, and they were placing that faith in his intercession. And so often, God said yes. We have volumes of testimonies where the blind saw, the cancer vanished, and the lame walked. These stories fuel our hope, and they should. But what about the others? What about the ones who left San Giovanni Rotondo with their cross still firmly on their shoulders? Was their faith not enough? Did Padre Pio not pray hard enough? This brings us to the specific story we need to explore today. It involves a woman, let's call her Maria to honor her privacy, as is often done in these accounts, who came to the friary with a burden that no mother should ever have to bear. Her son, her beloved boy, was dying. He wasn't just ill. He was withering away, racked with pain, his body failing him while he was still just a child. You can imagine her journey, the long trip, the sleepless nights, the way she must have rehearsed what she would say to the padre. She didn't want spiritual advice. She didn't want to hear about redemptive suffering. She wanted her son to live. She wanted his body to be whole. She wanted him to run and play like the other boys in the village. This is a desire that is holy and natural. It is the instinct God put into every parent. When she finally managed to meet Padre Pio, perhaps in the corridor or near the confessional, she threw herself at his feet. Witnesses describe the scene as heart-rending. She was sobbing, clutching at his habit, begging him to storm the gates of heaven for her son. "Father," she cried, "you must heal him. You must ask Jesus to heal him. He is all I have. He is innocent. Please don't let him be taken from me." Now, usually, in moments like this, Padre Pio would lift his eyes to heaven, say a short prayer, and tell the person to go in peace, often signaling that the grace had been granted. But this time, something different happened. Padre Pio stopped. He became incredibly still. Those around him noticed that his eyes seemed to look past the woman, past the walls of the friary, into a distance that no one else could see. He was entering into prayer. He was bringing this boy's case before the throne of God. The woman watched his face, holding her breath, waiting for the smile that would mean yes. But the smile never came. Padre Pio's face grew solemn, even sorrowful. He looked down at the weeping mother with an expression of infinite pity, but he shook his head. He told her, gently but firmly, that the cure would not be granted. He told her she needed to accept God's will, that the boy was being called home. The woman could not accept this. How could she? Her grief turned into a storm of protest. She intensified her pleading. "No, Father, you don't understand. You work miracles for others, strangers, sinners. Why not for my son? He is good. He is just a child. Why would God take him?" This is the moment where the veil between our world and the next was pulled back. Padre Pio, seeing her agony and knowing that her faith was on the brink of shattering, was permitted by God to share a piece of hidden knowledge. He was given a vision of the what if. He looked at the mother and spoke with a gravity that silenced the room. He told her that he had prayed. He told her that he had asked God to spare the boy, but God had shown him the future that would unfold if the boy were physically healed. In this vision, Padre Pio saw the timeline where the miracle was granted. He saw the boy recover completely. He saw the mother's joy, the celebration, the return to health. But the vision didn't stop there. It continued to flow like a river into the future. Padre Pio saw the boy grow into a young man. He saw him endowed with health, strength, and vitality. And then the darkness crept in. Padre Pio saw this young man, who had been given a second chance at life, turn away from God. He saw him use his restored health not for good, but for evil. He saw arrogance take root in his heart. The boy who was now innocent would become a man who was cruel. He saw him falling into mortal sin, rejecting the faith of his mother, and leading a life of dissipation and destruction. But the vision went even further, to the ultimate end. Padre Pio saw the death of this man years later. He saw him dying in a state of unrepentant mortal sin. He saw the soul of this son, whom the mother loved more than her own life, falling into the abyss of hell, separated from God and from his mother for all eternity. Padre Pio came back from this vision and looked at the mother. He said to her, in essence, "My daughter, the Lord loves your son too much to let that happen. Right now, your son is in a state of grace. He is innocent. He is close to God. If he is taken now, his salvation is assured. He will be safe in the arms of Jesus forever. He will wait for you there. But if he is healed, he will lose his soul, and you will lose him forever." Then he asked her the question that defines our existence. Do you want to have him here for a few more years and lose him for eternity? Or do you want to suffer his loss now for a short time and have him with you forever in paradise? The mother stopped crying. The reality of what the saint was saying washed over her. She realized that she was looking at the situation through the tiny keyhole of earthly time, measuring life in years and decades. But God was looking at the panorama of eternity, measuring life in salvation and damnation. And she realized that the refusal of the physical miracle was, in fact, the granting of a much greater spiritual miracle. It was an act of rescue. God was snatching the boy to safety before the world could destroy him. We have to pause here and really let this sink in. This is a terrifying and comforting truth all at once. It challenges everything we think we know about good and bad outcomes. We naturally think that a long life is a good outcome, and an early death is a bad outcome. But in the economy of heaven, the only bad outcome is the loss of the soul. Everything else, sickness, poverty, grief, short life, long life, is just scenery. The only thing that matters is whether we cross the finish line into the arms of God. Padre Pio often taught that we do not know what we are asking for. We are like small children asking our parents for a shiny object, not realizing it's a sharp knife. The parent says no, not because they are stingy, but because they love the child too much to let them hurt themselves. But let's go deeper into this mystery, because it's not always about preventing future sin. Sometimes the no is for a different reason, one that is equally profound. There were other times when Padre Pio explained that suffering was not being removed because it was doing a work of sanctification that health could never achieve. There is another account of a man who came to Padre Pio, blind in one eye and losing sight in the other. He asked for a cure. Padre Pio told him, "You will not be cured, but you will save your soul through this cross." The man was devastated at first, but years later, he admitted that his blindness had forced him to look inward. It had humbled him. It had made him rely on God in a way he never would have if he had been self-sufficient. His physical darkness became the cause of his spiritual light. Padre Pio himself lived this mystery. Think about it. The man who healed thousands lived in constant, agonizing pain. The stigmata, the wounds of Christ, were not just symbols. They were open, bleeding lesions that caused him excruciating torment every minute of the day for 50 years. He also suffered from fevers that broke thermometers, chronic bronchitis, and intense gastric pain. Did he pray for relief? In the beginning, perhaps, but eventually he understood that his suffering was his greatest tool. He called it the currency of grace. He realized that when he united his pain with the suffering of Jesus on the cross, it became a powerhouse of energy that could save souls. He couldn't offer the sacrifice of his pain for others if God took the pain away. So, when we look at the story of the mother and her son, we are seeing the intersection of human sorrow and divine providence. We are seeing the difference between the permissive will of God and the ordained will of God. It's important to clarify something here. God did not make the boy sick to punish him. Sickness and death entered the world through sin and the fallen nature of our reality. But God, in His infinite mastery, can use that sickness. He can orchestrate the timing of our entry and exit from this world to maximize our chance of salvation. Imagine a captain of a ship navigating through a treacherous storm. He sees on the radar that a massive hurricane is forming on the horizon, one that the ship cannot survive. So he diverts the ship into a rough, rocky harbor. The passengers complain, "Why are we stopping here? It's uncomfortable. We want to keep sailing." They don't see the hurricane. They don't know that the rocky harbor is the only thing saving them from sinking. In the case of the dying boy, death was the rocky harbor. It was the shelter from the coming storm of sin. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. This is hard to hear. Does this mean I shouldn't pray for healing? Does this mean if I'm sick, God wants me to suffer? Absolutely not. Padre Pio built a hospital. He built the Home for the Relief of Suffering, one of the most advanced hospitals in Europe. He believed in fighting sickness with every tool of medicine and prayer available. He spent his life healing people. We are commanded by Jesus to ask, to seek, and to knock. We should always pray for healing. We should always pray for relief. But, and this is the but that defines a saint, we must always end our prayer the way Jesus did in the Garden of Gethsemane. Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not as I will, but as you will. The not my will but yours is the safety net. It is us saying, Lord, I want this healing. I want this miracle, but you are the captain. You see the radar. If you see a hurricane coming that I cannot see, then I trust you to keep me in the harbor, even if it breaks my heart right now. That mother in the story, she eventually found peace. It wasn't immediate. The grief of losing a child is a wound that never fully closes on this earth, but she held on to the promise Padre Pio gave her. She knew her son was safe. She knew he was pure. She knew that the version of him that existed in eternity was the beautiful, innocent soul she loved, not the corrupted stranger he might have become. She realized that God loved her son, even more than she did. Padre Pio taught us that God is an artist. We are the canvas. Sometimes the artist uses bright, golden colors, joy, health, prosperity, but sometimes, to give the image depth, to make it a masterpiece, he must use dark colors, shadow, pain, loss. If the canvas were to scream, "No, stop using the dark paint," the painting would be flat and meaningless. We have to trust the artist. This perspective shifts our focus from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "Lord, what are you saving me from?" Or, "Lord, what are you building in me?" There is a profound loneliness in unanswered prayer. When the heavens are silent, we feel abandoned. But Padre Pio's vision tells us that the silence is not abandonment. It is intense activity. When God is silent, He is often doing His most critical work. He is calculating the trajectory of souls. He is weighing eternity against time. He is making the hard decisions that only a perfect Father can make. Let's apply this to our own lives today. Maybe you are that mother. Maybe you are praying for a miracle that hasn't come. Maybe you are watching a loved one suffer, or you are suffering yourself, and you feel like your prayers are hitting a glass ceiling. Padre Pio would say to you, pray, hope, and don't worry. But he would also say, look up, lift your eyes from the immediate pain. Understand that your life is not a random series of chaotic events. It is a story being written by a God who desires your happiness, but not just your temporary happiness here, where moth and rust destroy. He desires your eternal happiness. If God has said no to your request, it is because He has a better yes waiting. It might not be a yes you can see right now. It might be a yes that you won't understand until you cross over to the other side and see the tapestry for yourself. Imagine the reunion of that mother and son in heaven. Imagine the moment she sees him, radiant, glorious, safe forever. Do you think in that moment of eternal joy, she will regret the earthly years she missed? Or will she look at Jesus and say, thank you for the severe mercy that brought us both here safely? This is the hard logic of faith. It requires us to trust in the dark what we have seen in the light. Padre Pio also taught us that our suffering, when united with Christ, is never wasted. This is another reason for the refusal of a miracle. God may be inviting you to be a co-redeemer. This is a heavy theological concept, but let's break it down simply. We are part of the body of Christ. When one part suffers, it can offer that suffering to help another part. There are souls in this world who are on the brink of hell, who have no one to pray for them. God sometimes looks for a volunteer or drafts a soldier to carry a cross so that the grace generated by that cross can save a soul thousands of miles away. There were times when Padre Pio told people, I cannot take this cross away from you, because if I do, a soul will be lost. It places a tremendous dignity on our pain. It means your suffering isn't meaningless bad luck. It is a mission. You are in the trenches of a spiritual war, and your endurance is winning victories you cannot see. So, as we reflect on this, let's try to reshape the way we pray. Instead of praying with a clenched fist, demanding a specific outcome, let's try to pray with open hands. Lord, heal my child. That is the petition of love. But if you do not, give me the strength to trust your plan. That is the prayer of faith. There is a peace that comes from this surrender. It is the peace of knowing that you don't have to run the universe. You don't have to know the future. You just have to hold the hand of the one who does. Padre Pio saw the invisible world. He saw angels, demons, and the souls of the departed. But the most important thing he saw was the immense, burning love of God for every single individual. He saw that God's love is tough. It's not a sentimental, soft love that gives us candy when we ask for it. It's a refining fire. It's a love that is willing to break our hearts now to save our souls forever. As we come to the end of this reflection, I want you to think about the no in your life, the job you didn't get, the relationship that ended, the healing that didn't happen. Could it be that God was saving you? Could it be that the job would have made you greedy? That the relationship would have led you away from Him? That the illness is polishing your soul like a diamond? We won't know the full answers on this side of the veil. We see through a glass, darkly, but we have the testimony of the saints. We have the witness of Padre Pio, who peeked behind the curtain and came back to tell us, it's okay, God knows what He is doing. Let us take comfort in the fact that we are watched over by a providence that is smarter than we are and loves us more than we love ourselves. Let us ask Padre Pio to intercede for us, not just for miracles of the body, but for the greater miracle, the grace to accept the will of God, whatever it may be. Because in the end, the greatest miracle isn't walking on water or healing the sick. The greatest miracle is a human heart that in the midst of pain and silence, can still look up to heaven and say, "Jesus, I trust in you." Thank you for joining me on this journey into the mystery of faith. If this story touched you, if it gave you a new perspective on your own struggles, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. We are all walking this path together, and sometimes we just need a reminder that the captain is at the wheel and the harbor is waiting. Until next time, may God bless you and keep you safe.